Okay, so this now is how to tie one-handed knots. And again, this to me is icing on the cake, but definitely something that you should know how to do too after you get done with the two-handed knots. I think this is primarily useful for doing like vaginal repairs when you're working in a really tight spot and you kind of have your hands full with other things. But also know that in C-sections basically always use two-handed knots until told otherwise. But anyways, so this is one-handed knot. Same thing. It's always a 3-step process. So step 1, get your lines crossed. Step 2 is to figure out, am I going to be tying this right or left-handed? Now this is different than the two-handed knot because I tie in the hand that doesn't have the needle in it. So my needle is in my right side here, so I'm going to be tying left-handed one-handed knots. Then next is figure out, am I tying kind of what I like to call like the Cheeto chop first, or am I tying the finger throw first? So for if the line is on the bottom, it's easy to me, I just think like chop down, and if the line's on the top, then I use my top finger. So I'm going to do just this in slow-mo. So I chop down, I go around, and I pull that in. So that's the bottom one, and then for the top, you go around and pull that through, crossover. So it's going to take you a couple times of practicing to get it down, but that's the motion. So again, chop down, and this is the finger. So back up here and do the same process in another hand or something. So this time I'm going to instead put my needle over here. So 3-step process. Get my lines crossed. Am I tying right or left-handed? Well, my needle's over here, so I want to tie right-handed for the one-handed knots. And then am I going to do the Cheeto chop motion first or the finger? Well, because this is on the bottom, then I do the Cheeto chop one. So down, and then the finger, and then down, and the finger. So 3-step process each time, and you'll always tie perfect knots then.